Now here is proof that that fridge is my problem. Everybody knows I've been doing just fine out here for 3 months. No lack of power, no trouble at all. Now I've got my solar panels angled into the sun, which should be even better. I've got the solar panels wired up properly, which should be even better. I've got the batteries wired up properly, which should be even better. But add one thing to the equation. One thing to the equation, and I have a problem. The refrigerator compressor has run all day, non-stop. All day. It's now 5:30 in the afternoon. I was gone all day today. I have not been here at all today. The refrigerator has run non-stop all day. The temperature inside is only 60 degrees. So I think I'm fighting a losing battle with this thing. It's no good. And the outside is very, very hot. It's a horrible design. I'm going to have to get rid of it. It's not working. My batteries inside, I just saw, are 11.9 volts. I'm going to unplug the fridge. I have lost my milk, although for some reason the freezer is freezing, but the refrigerator is not refrigerating. So my milk spoiled. I had some disgusting coffee this morning, and then I left for the day. Had full sunlight all day, not a cloud in the sky, so that means I was pulling in maximum power from the solar panels, but that fridge has completely sucked up all of my power today. And that's the only difference in the equation. So that is definitely ruining and using all of my power. It isn't shutting off. That is the problem. So I have to unplug it now. Starting to look like a construction site here. There's this free door frame that I got off Craigslist, and here's the free door. It is I think, a very nice door. I need to get some paint stripper. I may have some, and it's got glass panels, so it's good. I like it. What I like is it's a real wooden door, and actually a very nice looking door, and it's got a deadbolt. The other half of the deadbolt is still in the frame. I don't have the key, but I think I can have it rekeyed. The hinges are still there. It's all there. It's complete. So I've got $200 savings right there, and I like the fact that it's a real wood door with real glass windows. I think it's beautiful. It's not double insulated, but I already have a plan for that. I'm going to make plexiglass panel inserts to cover that for wintertime. But that's a future project. But it's beautiful. I love it. Look at this. I'm going to strip it on both sides and revarnish it. So there's my door. That's a $200 value. That is exciting. For free. There it is. Now, bonus, I've got 2 bags of fiberglass insulation that are absolutely clean. They're, what do you call that paper on the other side, the backing? They don't have that, but I think that's perfect for my floor insulation of my tiny home. Now, on the way home, this was at an outdoor antique sale place, and this is something I've been looking for a while. An antique desk. It's cute. I love this design. And you open it up and it's got storage inside. I love it. Really nice, solid wood. It's been used, but I'm going to sand and varnish that next year, and it'll be beautiful. I really like it. And for $20, the price was incredible for its age and its condition. I love it. It's beautiful. So that's the desk that's going in my study. Perfect. I don't think I can make one for that price. So that was a nice find today. Now, we were also out shopping. My friend who helped me get this, I kept saying the day I pick up my free door, I'm going to get the construction materials for my floor, which I have over here. It is going to happen. The tiny house is going to happen. I also, by the way, see I found a use for those pallets. They're perfect. 2 of those pallets that I got for free. So I've got some 12 footers and some 10 footers. 2x6 by 12 and 2x6 by 10. I was advised at Lowe's not to go with treated lumber because I'm going to live in the place. He said treated lumber is bad for you if you're going to live in it. So I'm going to be putting a oil-based stain varnish thing on this to coat them. I have some I picked up at True Value. It was a mist tint that I bought a whole gallon for $8 spontaneously one day, and now I know why I was led to buy it. Gonna varnish these up or seal them off. I'm sorry, I use the word varnish loosely, but I'm going to seal them. Now I've got some over here. I couldn't wait to test it out and set it up here. Now I have two of my ribs up, spaced at 2 foot apart. There's the aluminum flashing. See, it's 24 inches by 50 feet long. The aluminum flashing, which is going to cover every rib in this direction. So imagine all the ribs, the floor joists here, every 2 feet, and the aluminum flashing covering and wrapping around the top. Actually, it's going to be on the bottom, obviously, but it's going to cover from the bottom and then up over the sides. I have enough flashing to overlap, so this will be absolutely mouse proof and insect proof. So there's how much overhang we have on the floor joist. This is not measured, I just eyed it up and set it on here, okay? So there's the overhang, roughly, on the floor joist. So we've got about 24 inches overhang on the sides. I think it's going to work, but I guess, we're going to find out. I got enough 10-foot 2x6s to double up at 3 points. So I'm going to double up on the back end and on the front end, and I'm going to double up in the center. And I think that's going to be enough load-bearing supports, because we're only going to have, if you look here, I've got a 12-footer, which is my end cap. I've got a 12-footer here. So this is literally half of the house right here, 12 feet. And that's the end. So I've got 4 12-footers. Now, how I'm going to join these together is I'm going to build this floor into 2 halves. I know some people might freak out when I first say this, so hear me out before you get on the keyboard and start shouting with all caps. One person comes to mind, but he's blocked. Anyway, I'm going to build this in 2 halves, the floor, so that I can flip this over and put the aluminum sheet flashing on it. What I've got is I'm going to have a 12-foot by 10-foot square framing of the floor, and then flip it over upside down, put down plastic and put down aluminum sheeting, and then flip it back onto the trailer frame. Then here, this one is going to be framed around the wheels and come up to here. This is where it's going to end, right here. This one will be framed around the wheels and out to there, and that'll be a 12-foot by 10-foot wide frame. And then that I'll flip over upside down, put plastic on, put aluminum flashing on, flip it back over on the frame. And what I'm going to have here is 2 2x6s butted up together, which I'm going to screw together heavily all the way across. And that should firmly secure up that middle joint and give me a double 2x6 frame dead center in the trailer. So I have a double on the end, a double dead center, and a double at the other end. So I think it's going to hold, because the only time this is going to be hanging like this is when it's going down the road, and hopefully that's not going to be very often, because I don't want to be moving around anymore. So I know that looks freaky, seeing how much that hangs off, but again, I will have jacks underneath, so I think it's going to be okay. I think. And the walls are going to be actually pretty thin. The walls are just going to be 2x4 framing with 1/4 inch plywood inside and out. So it's not going to be that heavy. So looks like it's going to be alright. So that's the plans right now. It's already getting on to 5:45 now, and I haven't done any work for the day. So I think I'm going to bring over my generator and my power drill and start trying to brush this off the metal framing for now before it gets dark, and see if I can get some painting on here at least today. Maybe I can paint half this today, if not all of it. We'll see how it goes with time once I get the generator fired up and start grinding on that. So I'm going to get to that. But in all, today it's pretty exciting. I wanted to get the wood out here so I could visualize it and then really finalize my plans, because it's hard to do everything in your head and just imaginary. So I also got all the fittings. Well, this looks like a construction zone now. I've got the joist hangers, and I've got angle brackets. I've got everything you need. There's the joist hangers. I've got all them. I've got somewhere in here all the angle brackets. I hope they're in here. Oh, and here's the angle brackets. So that's the for the corners of all the supports. So I've got 3 pounds of screws. Hopefully that's enough. So it should be good. I think it's going to be a very secure foundation. Now, as I said, I'm going to lay these down and paint them before I do anything with them. I'm going to paint everything first with a weatherproofing exterior coating so that the wood is preserved and protected. So I guess I'm going to get into my work clothes and start grinding. I had to fire up my DC generator because my batteries are low from the fridge. That fridge is definitely not a good option out here. I got my little Harbor Freight generator over here running a power drill, which I'm going to use to rough up. I did a little test spot here. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. Rough up the frame. I'm going to try to at least get the back half done today and rough up the frame of this and paint it. Brush I was going to use got wet. That's unfortunate. I thought I could get away with just brushing it after I'm done, but that's all wet. The grill gets hot. I forgot the camera was rolling. I've got half the trailer frame roughed up. I used the hand grinder on my power drill with a wire wheel, and what I did is roughed it up with that first, connected to the generator, and then I used my air compressor to blow the dust off. And I've worked all the way up to this first bracket behind the wheel because I'm running out of sunlight and I need to get this painted now. But I have wire brushed the whole thing inside and out, every part of the frame except for the very bottom. I'm going to use a rust eating, what is it called, a rust converter, and then tar on the bottom of the frame and around the axles and around the springs. But I've done everything else all the way up to this bracket, and now it's time to get my paint out and start painting. It's a thick oil-based paint. It's really thick. Actually, I've never dealt with something so thick before. It's awkward to paint with. It's actually a dark green, which is funny because that sort of fits in with my roof, which is a evergreen color. But I think it's a bonus that it's so thick because it's really coating this metal heavily. I thought it was black in the store, and now I see it's sort of a greenish color. Most of the frame will be under the house anyway, so nobody will see it. Maybe the back of the bumper. I hope to cover everything pretty well with skirting. But the green sure fits in with the forest nicely. It's sort of funny. By chance I got a green and didn't know it. A second coat on that, probably, because I can still see some white showing through in places. This is not the greatest brush either, but if I have enough paint, I probably will. I'm going to do it all once and come back through and do it again later. So I'm going to continue painting this and hopefully finish this back section before dark. It's getting late. Well, I got a little bit done, not as much as I thought I would tonight. I got the back of the bumper, the outside edge here, and then I started painting the inside and the cross members, and that's as far as I got. Just from the wheel up to this cross member is done on that side. I still have to finish the inside all the way around and this whole piece here. So time flies, I guess. This is how it is, but it's a cool color, really. I think it's gonna fit nicely out here in the forest, and hopefully I'll have enough to touch up at least the spots that didn't cover perfectly. But then again, it's gonna be underneath the house, so I guess it doesn't matter. All I'm talking about is where the white showed through from the previous paint here, whereas everywhere else it's covering because it was black paint. That's the only spot where it shows a little bit of white. But otherwise it looks really good. I am noticing it's taking quite a lot of paint because it is thick, but I guess that's a good thing in a way because it's going to really coat this frame nicely for me. The poor old trailer is going to get a second life here. A much better second life. So I got to clean up. It's getting dark. I got to put things away.